Right here?
Was it?
Or right there?
Oh, that.
Too loud?
Nah, it seems pretty quiet.
Do you like level it out in post?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Very little post work done here on the Qualified to Motivate podcast. I'm your host, Dante Quitman. Welcome to the ambiance we provided for. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't doing all that. Listen, man, I'm just the Qualified to Motivate podcast. I'm your host, Dante Quitman. I got my co-host in here with me, Bryson Rodier.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. I like that. He started a whole little tag. He say that every show. I like that. We got a very special guest in here, man. One of my jokey joke friends, Corey Day.
What up, man? Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you pulling up. You've been trying to work this one out for a little while now, man. One of my good, let them know what the profession is that you're repping here today that I brought you here for, Mr.
So,
Funny Man.
I'm pushing comedy. I've been doing it close to a year now.
Yeah.
I still work like a day job, a 9 to 5 that is pretty motivating in itself, like the stuff I do on that world. But man, I'm here to talk jokes. I'm here to, just have some fun, man.
Yeah, that's what we brought you here for, man. Good old jokey jokes.
You want to start him in with the
Yeah,
number
I
one
want you to
question
bring
for
him into it. I want you to bring him into it. We ask everybody.
Yeah, everybody we have on the show, man, we ask them what makes you qualified to motivate.
Yeah, man. I'll start kind of corny, man. I'm a hustler, dude. I find something that I really have a passion for and a drive for, and I bust my ass at it. So that's kind of a mindset and a mentality I developed, like kind of a little bit after college. But anything I want to like really go at, I go full force.
Yeah.
I try to be, kind and helpful to everyone around me, and hopefully that comes back to me. But man, with comedy, with I'm a new father. I've got a 2-year-old.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I just bust my ass at everything I do and do the best I can, try as hard as I can.
What was Corey Day's first hustles? You know what I'm saying? What was your first hustle?
No, I mean,
You're trapping the candy out the elementary school.
no, I was never like trapping candy or anything like that. Just, shoot. I don't know, I like football, like sports was probably my first hustle.
I like
Sports,
it.
just trying to push it hard in sports. I didn't develop into anything more than, a 5'10" white kid. So I was playing safety and running track as best as I could. I made it to like regionals in track, and I was decent at football, but I was playing in like Central Florida. So I was playing against like 6'2", 6'3" receivers going D1. I had a guy go D1 in my graduating class, and I was playing safety. So I had to work harder than everyone in the weight room. I was like doing squats and jump squats like
Worst, ain't
crazy.
It'd be hard to root for them guys that like you be seeing make it when they whooped on you.
This dude, I almost broke his neck freshman year. He was like 6'3" as a freshman, and he just put his head down, and I tackled him, and his head like snapped. Like down, I had to like take him out of practice on a stretcher one day. I was crying. I was like, "Man, I broke his neck." Like so sad about it.
Oh, so you just want to let everybody know you was Mr. Tough Guy on the field out there.
I idolized Brian Dawkins. If you know who he is, he was a safety for the Eagles, and he would just hit as hard as humanly possible. Just try to just break.
Hey, if you
people's
deliver the
will.
hit, you're not the one, getting it. That's what my coach used to say. He says, better to be the hitter than the hittee.
Yeah, I played a little bit of quarterback and running back too. And when I made it up to varsity, I was like, I'd rather be the one laying the licks than just like running and trying to take them.
Now, I was gonna say when you were talking about like just the drive and the passion that you like put into your career and your comedy and all that stuff, like my next question was gonna be like, were you an athlete growing up? Because like it seems to be like a trend, not only athletes, but mainly like if you were an athlete and you competed at any type of level, like real competitive level, like that's like already like your groundwork within you. It's like you gotta outwork the men around you or the women around you, like.
And it teaches you like the performance too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like discipline in itself.
Yeah.
Like the core principle there is like developing discipline. And my grandfather as well was like the male figure in my life coming up.
Yeah.
And so you skip a generation there. I was raised by, a baby boomer for the most part.
Right.
And he was a police officer as well. So he never pushed me in any specific thing.
Yeah.
But it was always just work as hard as you can at whatever you're doing, man. I was in high school. I was the best grocery stocker at the Winn-Dixie where I was, man.
Hey, that Winn-Dixie. I was on that Ingles grind in my day.
Hey. What's up? Man, what got you into comedy, man?
I've always been a comedy nerd, man. I started like staying up late watching specials on like Comedy Central. One of the first ones that I can remember like vividly as like a real driving force was Dave Chappelle, For What It's Worth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's got the yellow shirt and the overshirt.
That's a good one.
He goes straight from a homeless man holding up a bus, jerking off, to how AIDS came from somebody fucking a monkey. Mo monkey pussy for me. That shit got me at like 12, man.
Nah,
and then
Dave-
ever
yeah.
since that, just always loved comedy.
Yeah. Dave was a big part of like my little journey too, because my brother was like, when I was 5, my brother was like 13. So, you know, when he's staying up late, you know, he's watching Comedy Central and stuff. I'm staying up late watching it too. But, you know, I kind of get in trouble sometimes, you know. You going to school at first grade, I'm Rick James, bitch. You know, like, yeah, you just, it doesn't land amongst that audience as well.
Yeah, for me getting into comedy, it was like, and I don't perform comedy, but it's definitely a huge influence on my life. But me and my grandpa would be riding around listening to that Sirius XM, just like all the different comedy stations.
Yeah.
And it lets you know, like, if you're bombing, like somebody's gonna change the channel or like walk out, like you don't want to hear what's not funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, boy, it's rough.
He was a rough little listener. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah,
as
he
soon
was
as he
get you
gets
out of
like
there.
next, they
Next.
got 3 channels. Like, you getting bumped. You know what I'm
Getting
saying?
bumped.
Yeah.
Oh man, who is so like Dave Chappelle? Was there any other figures that like got you into it?
I just the Comedy Central like half hours they used to do. I remember Bert Kreischer, one of his like first half hours. He talked about being at Disney on acid with some friends and like just old like anything probably from like 2012, 2013 and on. That was when I was in college. That was when I was like you said, listening on Pandora and Spotify to comedy more than I was listening to music.
Yeah.
But even before that, like older stuff, I like old stuff too, man. Shout out to Dick Gregory. I'm a big Dick Gregory fan.
Huh?
Just like
I like him
anything
too.
anything that has substance to it, you know, not just like we're all, you know, victim to the dick joke every now and then, but anything that's got a little bit more substance to it, it like draws me in heavy.
Yeah, people that make you think.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to go about it. I like people that make you think about it. You know, you ain't just laughing just to laugh. You like, oh man, he like really thought about it, put time into that. It wasn't like you try to make it seem as like natural, like a conversation as possible, but some stuff is so smart. You like, nah, like you took some time on that one.
That was definitely like me in college too, especially like the pandemic hit and like everything shut down. You're really not supposed to be going out and seeing people. And like, man, Bill Burr was my best friend. Him and that Monday morning podcast,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I probably listened to that about 7 hours a day. You know what I'm saying?
Just Billy Boy on a rant.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And you know he was thinking about like he was going deep into every like he goes deep into basically every topic he talks about. He's got a different point of view and like really tries to break it down from the norm.
Yeah, I like Bill Burr. It's like I was watching this one documentary or something. And it was like he was saying how Dave told him like he seen a set and was like, you know, you're funny. Like what you're doing is funny, but it's gonna take you longer.
Yeah.
You know, because he had such a direct like his is like, you know, like if he's one of them comedians you either 100% like it, it's like you're not gonna be a fan of.
Right.
But that's how like you should be as a comedian, you know. You should have a direct like one voice that people either like or don't like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How would you describe your style? Like, I mean, I know you said you're a year, so I mean, you still like year one.
Yeah. So my journey,
Are you in
I'm
year one?
roughly year one right now.
Gotcha.
So I tried to open mic back in Tampa after college in 2016. I did about 3 months worth of mics, but with my job at the time, I was only able to go out like one night a week.
Yeah.
And I didn't see progress, and I love it so much. And I like I said, I have a drive to like get good at stuff. I just wasn't seeing progress. And at the time I started dating who's now my wife and chose between moving to California and living on a buddy's couch who had moved out there a little bit before me and trying to pursue like the whole like improv, like the Groundlings thing, or getting stable with this woman and trying to get my like job life right. Because I was living paycheck to paycheck, man. I was fresh out of college. And I chose that, knowing that, like, you know, this is still a passion of mine. This is still a dream in my heart. And it took me 7 years to get back out to it.
Hey, you got back out there, though.
Yeah. So my first set here in town was last June. It was Juneteenth.
Nice.
It's the easiest way for me to remember it. It was the same as you. It was a Monday Noble spot. And I was there. Some of the guys were like, hey, there's another spot on the other side of town. And I was like, all right, cool. I didn't bomb completely, so let me go to this other spot and then just building from there. And I mean, immediately I was out 3-4 nights a week. You still see me out 3-4 nights a week, just trying to try new stuff, just pushing it, man.
Yeah. How do you feel about like with your open mic process? Do you try to like keep just punching up the same joke, or do you try to like, or do you just try to write like new material as much as possible and then see what out of that is good and keep that? Or do you have that set and that you're just kind of trying to keep elevating?
So my writing style, like that was kind of the base of your question. My writing style is like, I believe in like life imitates art and art imitates life. I know you guys just had Ryan on and he said, you know, draw from your own life experiences.
Yeah.
So I'll put like an idea or a premise in my joke book and I'll go up with it without even writing anything out, like 1 or 2 times at least. Hear my recordings and then actually write out a long form version of it from there and then tweak it until I'm comfortable with it. And then I kind of set it aside. I won't do it for 2-3 weeks and then I'll do it just to keep it fresh in my mind. But I know I don't have to keep working in the open mics and keep working it because I know it's like comfortable and it's good. And when I do that, I'm able to build like a 1-minute version of that joke, a 3-minute version of that joke that's like an actual story. And then just kind of, you know, riff with it from there.
Do you have like a process that you do when you're writing? Like, is there any type of like preliminary things they're like, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna write?
Not just I like to listen to my set on the drive home from a show or like from a mic, and then when I get home, I'll sit and just chill for a minute. I mean, my wife's already in bed, my kid's already in bed. I'm wired. I don't really sleep too much anyway.
Yeah.
So that's when I'll kind of just
riding that high.
Yeah, get a little high, ride the high, and just kind of see what I can punch up from there. You know.
That's the crazy part about it, man. People don't know about that part, man. You do a good set, and then you get off stage, man. You be just like up, like, what's up? What we doing? What's the move? Like, what we doing?
No,
you're juiced. You're so juiced if you have a good set.
Man. You just geeked up the whole time.
Now, to me, it sounds like if you had to like wrestle at 9-10 p.m. and then go home and it's like, I'm not going to bed right now. Like, I just got hyped up to like, you know, fight somebody. I'm not.
Man, it's the
no
exact
chance I'm going straight to
It's
bed.
crazy. Like, we both wrestled, and like that's exactly the feeling. Like, that's why I was telling Petey, like, it's the same feeling. Like, right before a wrestling match is like the same right before your set.
I just learned from you, man, that you're sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That you're puking before show sets. The hell, dude. You have such a calm, cool demeanor. I would have never guessed you got like mom's spaghetti dripping,
Yes,
dude.
sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, that was a perfect segue. Hell yeah, boy.
Learned that from the Western Carolina days.
Brother,
You know how to yak in the bathroom.
Yak and keep it pushing right to it. You know? No, I was just thinking about it. Like I was about to leave too. Like it was at Disclaimer one night, and it was really like I didn't eat right that day, and like that's why I say it's like wrestling. Like I treat it like wrestling match like the same day. Like you got to make sure you eat right that day and stuff. Like because your nerves, like your stomach, it's not gonna be like how it usually is. So like I didn't eat that much that day. I had just like when I got there, I got some tater tots real quick, and I had a drink. I didn't drink a lot. I just sipped a little bit and. Just not really eating good, plus the nerves.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was about to go up. It was like 3 comedians. And I was like, I gotta use the bathroom. And I was going to the upstairs bathroom in the music hall, like about to go just pee. And then I just like, ooh. And then I was like, oh no. I went downstairs to the other
one in the back
in
corner?
one stop, downstairs. Just got in there and just let it go, man. I don't know. And then like I was finna leave. I was gonna leave. I was like, I'm going home. Fuck this. And I was just thinking like, man, what's a better story? You got scared and threw up and went home, or you threw up and still went up there and did the set. But
that does take me back to those wrestling days. Like you remember going down the States and hitting the Golden Corral like the night before.
Yeah.
We'd be like trying to keep weight. Basically, I was always starving myself because I was always like right over the line. So, you know, like you're starving yourself for the week or two before that, like sweating every day. And then we get there, weigh in, and then that night we go to Golden Corral and just like gorge yourself on everything that's bad for you. You know what I'm saying?
How you deal like that? Well, yeah, he ain't wrong, boy. You'll get in there and get sick.
Yeah.
You've
Because
been starving.
You had literally nothing to eat for like, feels like a week. Like maybe you drank Slim Fast and water, but like other than that, it's like I'm starving myself. And then you go to Golden Corral and eat like 3 full meals.
I was
in
always
1
underweight,
hour.
so I just ate anyway. So yeah.
Oh,
But what do
not
you
me.
do like with? Have you ever had any moments like that? You get real nervous before, like that nervous before you get up there?
I never got really that nervous. I mean, through other avenues of life, like my day job and other stuff, I do professional speaking. I've always been pretty good at professional speaking, so I don't have stage fright. My anxiety, if at all, comes from like my material being pretty self-deprecating. I mean, you've heard so much of my stuff. Like I go pretty deep on like just like silly, stupid shit and just like stuff that other people probably wouldn't say into a microphone in front of other human beings.
Right.
So like it's just like, is this going to be well received, or am I going to get like lambasted for, you know, talking about whatever?
Yeah.
Oh man, so how do you deal with like? So since it's not like the nerves of like not stage fright, but you know, public speaking, like how do you deal with that nervousness or anxiety of just like, oh, my material? Like how do you get up there like, I'm just get up, I gotta do it?
I mean, it makes me try harder. It makes me write harder. And then, you know, when something doesn't go the way I thought it would, I'm like, all right, is my train of thought that far different from like the general consensus, or do I need to like tighten this sentence up and word it a little bit differently? Like, do I just need to like punch up my shit, or am I really that far off and people don't identify with this like thing at all? And then just kind of scrap it or fix it from there.
When you're writing, like, is it like, oh, this just came, like, I just had this thought, it seems really funny to me, like, I need to write this down in my notes or something, or is it like, you wait till you're on the way home from the comedy show? Like,
Oh, well, I keep a fanny pack. I keep pointing to it. I don't know if the camera can
Throw it
I
on
got
the
this
table.
fanny
Throw it
pack.
on the-
I
throw
got
it
this
on the
fanny pack
table.
on me like 24/7.
keep it on me.
So I got a joke book in there, and you know, sometimes I'll have random like core memories hit my brain. I'm like, oh, I could write something about that. Like
Right.
this thing happened to me when I was 12. Like, man, I got to make a joke out of that,
Yeah.
or like
Sometimes, yeah.
whatever. So I always have it, but I'll just jot down like a few words to make me remember.
Okay.
And then I go up on. So like a little bit of like kind of behind the scenes on comedy. Like when you go to an open mic, it's 4 or 5 minutes, right? So I go up with like 3 or 4 of those ideas, see what I can do with them within about a minute or so. And then I usually have one that I know is all right, that if I like am like drowning, I can kind of reel it back and bring something home. So I'm not, Pete, you just had Petey on. So I'm at least getting on base, man.
Yeah.
I'm never
Get on
not
that
getting on
first
base,
base.
at least in my own opinion. I don't think I'm ever
Get
not
on
getting on
base.
base.
Get on base.
I'm soaking all these tips in because I don't know if you heard Petey scared me with the 5-minute
Pete-
open mic.
Oh man, I was meaning to talk. I ain't even talked to him about it. We was just joking, man. Don't think like next time we
man,
go
I've
out, we
been-
gonna throw you up there.
I've been throwing notes in my phone every time I think of something funny. I'm like,
If you want to do it, yeah, but don't feel pressure to. But
You're being
that'd
too
be dope.
soft, man. Bryson got to do one spot.
Say you got the one spot.
Bryson got to do one mic just
At
to
least
get the
one mic.
feels, and then come back and talk about it on the pod how it went.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's
I
just guest after guest. They on your neck. I don't know what it is, bro. People be on Bryson's neck on the podcast.
He's a nice guy.
He had to do one of the fans one time in the comment was like, "Can the white boy do a handstand, please?"
did we post that one?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
up. Like I just didn't clip it. I ain't clipped it yet. But yeah, so he did the handstand. Petey told me he got to do. Petey said next time I see you at my open mic, you going up. I'm gonna just call your name.
Bro, I'm saying since then, like I got a whole new notes section in my phone. Like,
Boy got a
I
type
think
5.
This is funny.
Boy got a type 5.
Not yet, bro. Not yet. That's why I was getting nervous when I was like, we were on the
Hey,
way
if you
down
really
here
want to
today.
do it, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
We get him up tonight.
You can
Yeah,
go
not
up to not. You said that last episode. He said that. He said not tonight. I'll go up any night, just not tonight. He said it last episode, y'all.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
make
just
some more
playing.
notes before we get there. But that's why I was
just
asking.
playing,
I was like,
man.
"Where are we going tonight?"
Yeah,
who's
you-
gonna be there? I was trying to do it real nonchalant, like who's gonna be there? You're like,
yeah.
Petey's gonna be. On. I'm like, I
Oh
don't know
man,
about
I don't know about that one. Man. Take it in, call it early night tonight.
that one. Yeah,
Not even
Get
feeling
back.
too good, man.
Back.
That's funny, man. Well, I like that. That's what I like about comedy, though. You hear like hearing your process, like everybody's got like this different thing. You know, they
Yeah,
all got their different process, and I think that's a big thing that comedians should like. Younger like comedians, like we're both year one in it. I think they should take that in. Like, there's gonna be a lot of comedians that give advice, but it's just like it's not like it's necessarily for you.
It's just what works for you.
Yeah, like comedy's way different. Like it's gonna be different for everybody. Everybody's start's gonna be different. Everybody's like, and
I
then
think
it's
there's
and
a
then
lot, like-
another thing that people I think don't is my main point I'm trying to make. I guess is like, it's more bad like anybody. More, you know what I'm saying? There's more bad than good. So there's more bad comedians in the world than there is good. So the advice that you get, like, have you ever had that moment where like a comedian give you this advice and they're giving you like they're talking you up, you like, yeah, man, they giving you all this advice on how you think you should do, and then you watch them go up and just bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like,
Like you just gave me a tag. Not you, but I'm saying
yeah,
like
that's how it be. Like you watch them go up, bomb. Like it'd be different whenever it's at the open mic, because I don't never like judge the open mic bomb. Like you gotta try new stuff, do it. But like when you watch somebody at a showcase or something just bomb, and you're like, bro, you're in here coaching people. Like don't be. So like just take what works for you, and then also, but I still think you should listen to advice that is bad, just so you.
That's the thing. Is like we were having that conversation on the way down here. It's like there's two sides to every coin, and there's usually like some truth on both sides of that coin. Like just because this side of the coin is true, like don't mean there's zero truth on the other side. Like there is truth in the advice you're given. Just because it doesn't work for everybody doesn't mean that it's not still like true advice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And full disclosure, I'm probably guilty of both sides of that too. Because I mean, I am such a nerd of stand-up comedy and like a student of the game. Like I, to maybe a detriment, will walk up to someone not like right after their set, but like at a mic and be like, "Hey, like I like this. Here's a tag you could try to use for this." But I mean, it could be not well received in cases.
Nah, that's not what I'm saying. That's what comedy's about. Comedians walking up like, hey, try to, that's the thing that we do, but like, don't, I'm saying like the career advice, like career, like business advice. They give you like business and also like business and like stand-up advice, but like they're giving you like the career advice, like not like, hey, I think this about this joke. No, like, oh man, you shouldn't be doing that type of material at all. Like you need to be doing
But at the end of the
like,
day, I really do think that kind of advice is better than like I remember like sitting in a class at Western and an alumni came back and they've been on the job for 10 years and somebody raised their hand. They're like, "What do you think I should do? Do you think I need to get like? Do you think I need to secure a full-time job first? Do you think I need to do some like freelance stuff like blah blah blah?" And they're like, "Just do whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you the most money." And it's like that doesn't mean anything. Like
Nah.
that.
Those
that's,
two usually
that's
don't go
not
together
advice.
either. Like
yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
I live by do what makes you happy, but also like to your point, like if you see someone trying to give you career advice and like then you see them bomb or you see like their career not like, fuck them, dude. Do
You know what I'm saying?
do your shit.
Fuck 'em.
Figure your shit out and do your shit the best way you can, not the best way someone tells you they think you
right.
should.
Yeah, because that's what comedy's about. It's about you being as unique as possible, like you being as
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you as possible.
Yeah.
Like, don't fall into that. And I'm only I'm only rookie. I'm just saying.
Listen. I right in the camera. I saw Dante's first mic and he fucking had it from day one. This kid, I was
Oh,
jealous
man.
of him immediately
man.
for
Oh,
fucking
man.
knowing how to do the shit. Not that you were like perfect, but
Right.
like you get it and you really try hard, man. I am jealous, man. You
And I
started
gotta-
a
I
few
gotta-
months after me. I'm
I
like,
gotta have my Kevin Hart moment where I pretend like I'm not loving all these compliments. Oh man, no, man, no. Like, no, guys, it's not about me, guys. Like, it's not about me. I appreciate that though, man.
Yeah,
for
man.
real, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. That's what I liked about Asheville, though, man. Everybody in the Asheville comedy scene is really great for anybody who's starting out, just because everybody's so supportive. Like, as soon as you go to that first open mic, like everybody gonna let you know where like the open mics are. This and that, like everybody right off the bat was just like, yeah, man, go here and this and that. Everybody like follows each other. Everybody like helps each other with jokes. This place is definitely great.
I mean, especially in the comedy space, like you're not gonna get far by trying to push other people down. Like that's I started a once a month show just for the fact that like I wasn't getting booked as much as I thought maybe I quote necessarily deserve. But I'm also not the first person to be like, hey, can I get on your thing? Hey, can I get on your thing? So like, all right, I'm just going to build some shit that I can bring up everyone around me with. I'm going to build a book show and I'm going to book people that I think are coming up around me that deserve the spots and try to like promote everyone around me plus myself, you know?
That's how all like when you hear like those big comedians, like that's kind of how like their story was. Like that's kind of how it starts. Like I think that's just a feeling that you got to deal with. Like I think every comedian goes through that because I do.
Yeah. Hustle.
You be like, man, like, but that's why I think like, I think there's such thing as like healthy envy, healthy jealousy, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's like you don't want exactly what they have, but you want that for yourself, type of deal. It's like I don't want that guy's Wagoneer. I want my own wagon.
Yeah.
You know? You know
Shout out Jeep sponsor us. No, like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I see you doing good. I'm like, man, I got to push my shit. Dante gonna be around.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the same time, I was like, for me, like I was in school and I started the open mics.
Yeah.
And so like I wouldn't, like you said, I would get to go up like once a week because I'm busy with doing school and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know, an hour away or whatever. So like, but what I would see is like, what I was jealous of y'all is like I would see like how much better like you get, like how fast, you know, like because I'm only going up once a week. And then it's like everybody else might be going up 3-4 times. You can see that, like, you can see that growth, like within just like a month, you know. Yeah.
I definitely think you dropped a gem in that last little statement you had. Like, you're not going to get any farther about pushing anybody else down, right. And that's something we've talked on this podcast before, and it's something like Joe Rogan said on his podcast. It's like that famine mentality. Like, there's enough to go around. You know what I mean? Like, there is enough room for you to get yours and him to get his and me to get mine. It's just like just for you to do worse doesn't help me do any better. And
the crazy part is just like whenever you like envy somebody or you're jealous of something like that, it's like the whole time you don't even know they at the same time might be envy or jealous of something you got.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's big personal lesson. I learned that from one of my cousins, man. I got a cousin that's 3 years older than me, and we always grew up close together. And just like 2-3 years ago, like I'm in my early 30s, he's in his mid 30s, and we were hanging out. And like we just got to drinking and got to talking, and I was like, man, I always was jealous. Like you had like kind of a stable family, and I really didn't. I was like, you know, had some stuff that was cool. Like he had a motorcycle and shit when we were kids. And he was like breaking down to me. He's like, man, I was always jealous of you because you like were able to do this other stuff. So we both had this envy that for 20 years of our life we didn't know we had towards each other.
You just said you was jealous like of me from the start. Like I'm jealous of you. You producing like your own show. Like you got your own show that you are the head of every month. Like that's dope. And you did it kind of like out of, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere. Like boom, I got my own shit. Like boom, 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 boom. That's hard.
Shout out to the mentor god, Petey Smith McDowell.
Yeah,
I went to Petey a lot, asking him like little tidbit questions, like how do I do this? How do I do that? Shout out Petey, man. I love Petey.
Petey's like the master splinter of McDowell. I think. I mean, not of McDowell. I mean, I said Petey Smith. Yeah, Petey McDowell. He's like the Petey Smith McDowell. He's like the master, the sensei of damn Asheville comedy. Just come. What do you need to know about comedy? I'll tell you. I've got all the answers. Nigga just reach into his bag of tricks, pull out all the answers. What you want? I got it all.
Yeah, man.
So what's this green wristband about? Tell me the significance.
This ain't about nothing, man. This is some extra paracord from camping that I just melted into just a wristband that I wear. Thought it kind of matched my shit.
Ready for any survival situation right here with this paracord.
Just trying to look nice for you guys.
We appreciate This is got the drip on.
You mentioned this is a Joe Rogan shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like this one.
I like the shoes. That's
we say his name one more time, we're gonna owe them some money.
No, I got a funny story about these shoes, man.
All right, let's hear it.
I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago. Another cousin of mine was getting married, and I was in the wedding.
Let's show the camera.
I got some brown Vans high tops.
Yes, sir.
I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago. I was in the wedding, so I flew down, hooked up with my cousin who was getting married, hung out with him for a day and a half. He drove me to the wedding, and all my stuff was in his car because I was staying up by where the wedding was and flying out.
So how was it?
It was a good wedding, man. It was fun.
No, I said you said you hooked up with your cousin. I'm saying, was it like a
Oh,
romantic
dude.
moment?
I was pitching, he was catching. Nah.
I had to, bro. I was gonna let it slide, and I was like, nah.
okay.
I had to. I was gonna let it ride, but go ahead.
We here for the jokey jokes.
Yeah, the jokey jokes.
No, so my stuff got moved from one car to another car to the cousin that I was talking about, and then he couldn't drive at the end of the ceremony and reception, so my stuff got moved to another car after that. I'm hammered because I was in the wedding, I was drinking, I was making sure the bride and groom had their drinks the whole time, and I wake up in my hotel the next day. I only had one of my damn shoes, man. I had to go to the Ross across the street and buy a new pair of shoes because I only had a right shoe. I had no left shoe. So that's where I got these.
Hey man, at the end of the day, you was all right.
Yeah, worst thing that happened to me was I had to buy a new pair of nice Vans.
Oh
dude.
man, okay, I'm glad he called it. I was like, man, ain't no way somebody missed that one. Come on, man, that was a good one. But no, like that's crazy. That's a wild night.
Now I get it.
There it is. It take a minute. It take a minute sometime. That comedy that make you think. That's what we here for.
Yeah.
No, that's a wild night out if you end up with one shoe, man.
I took my shirt off multiple times at this
wow.
wedding. They had a photo booth. I got like naked and took a picture because no one was watching. They'll see it later when they get them
Somebody was
photo booth
watching.
pictures back.
I know. You're blackout drunk. You think nobody's
Nobody
watching?
no, they
You're
all
like,
remember it.
"What's
They
this
just
guy?"
don't talk about it at the family reunion. Oh shit, put the bourbon up. Here he come.
man.
Here he come.
Yeah.
So
That's
what? Like,
That's a dope story, man. That's wild though, just being like that scenario when you're drunk and you just got belongings everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh, God. Phew. That's a scary feeling because you're keeping up with book bags, you're keeping up with shoes, you're keeping up with.
What's I'm trying to think. What's your one drunk food?
Drunk food.
Just
Oh,
get you
man.
back right every time. Bring you back from the dead.
I've been running a joke about it. You know, Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah.
I like the pizzas. Like they make them
Yeah.
square
Oh,
now.
yeah.
When I
They
was
got-
a kid, they made them round.
Yeah.
I'm a latchkey kid, man. I grew up from probably second grade through high school, just like being home alone by myself. Just my mom would tell me on like a Monday, "Hey, I'm going grocery shopping Thursday." I'd have to pick out my own groceries and make my own dinner from second grade
Pop
on.
Tarts, Tostinos,
Yeah,
spray cheese.
but
Is that the joke?
no, I would eat.
oh.
I would eat them pizzas like 3 nights
I
a
was gonna
week.
say,
so
don't burn all the material out here now.
That pizza is something I eat probably still to this day, like 2-3 a week of. I got it. I got the pizza tattooed on my body.
Oh man.
That's serious.
It's a Mac Miller tattoo.
Say you willing to die about it.
I got pizza and the Kool-Aid Man, like Kool-Aid and frozen pizza. And the pizza says clean conscience and the Kool-Aid Man says good Samaritan.
Boy, any food you get tattooed on your body, you're willing to go to war about for sure.
The Kool-Aid Man, dude.
What's the Kool-Aid?
Oh,
flavor?
yeah.
What's
This
the
is from
favorite
the
flavor?
song.
What's your
No,
favorite?
I'm saying like what flavor?
What's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite, just the red one.
Yeah, I love how nobody in years of them being a company
Just fruit
knows
punch,
what
dude.
flavor that is. It's red.
It's red.
It's
It's
just
great.
red.
It's supposed to be fruit punch. It's red sugar,
Hey,
dude.
Speaking of Dave Chappelle, that's one of my favorite jokes he got when he was talking about go back and look at that Sunny D commercial. He was like, the white kid was like, I've got some milk, some grape stuff, and Sunny D. And then everybody starts getting excited, and he was like, go back and look at that commercial. Look at the black kid. He didn't want that Sunny D. He's like, I want that grape stuff. that red stuff, man. Don't know. Everybody calls it red. Nobody knows what flavor it is.
It's phenomenal. Whatever.
It's red.
Whatever it is.
You know the Donald Glover joke about Tang?
Nah, but I like Tang. That's
So
good stuff.
Donald Glover, he I know PD talked about it on the pod a few weeks ago. He has a special that's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's called Weirdo.
Yeah.
And
I've seen
he got a
some
joke about Tang on that special. It's really funny. Just how like Tang itself started as a drink for astronauts in space, and Tang. Y'all talking about Tang? Stupid.
Who's your top 5 favorite?
All right, we going Mount
comedians?
Rushmore. I've been prepping for this.
man,
I've been
yes.
prepping for
Waiting
this.
on it. I knew he was
All right.
waiting on it. That's why I let it build. I let it sink. I seen him. He's itching for it.
That's the host with the most right here. So you want me to do my stand-up top 5 first,
Let's
or
do
my
stand-up
comedy
first.
top 5? All right,
Stand up first. No movies, no shows. Strictly the stand up. Just a mic and a stool.
strictly Mike and a stool. We
Let's do
got Dave Chappelle, number 1 for sure. Mark Norman, the guy is a killer. Hits him quick, hits him hard.
King of the one-liners.
all right, here's where it gets like, all right, people are going to be off and on, you know. As of late, I would say,
Top 5 of all time.
of all time, dead or alive.
Dead or alive.
All right. Throw in Dick Gregory, throw in George Carlin, and then the fifth one. Ooh, who do I go with? Number 5, man.
That's a hell of a 5 already.
I'm letting the song drop.
You're running
Gotta
back.
bring back in.
No, that fifth one probably. I like Ari Shafir. I've been a big fan of Ari.
Crazy.
He does a good mix of storytelling and like hitting you with a good punch.
Solid.
So you said as of late, did that person make it on there?
No, as of late, I would add probably
Honorable mention.
Sam Talent into that. I've been really into Sam Talent. I've been reading his book.
I like it.
His
It's a
book's
solid
really
5.
great about like the art of comedy
Dick
and kind of.
Gregory is like, you pulling that one out the bag. That's tough.
I've always loved Dick
There's
Gregory.
been
Man.
2 black comedians on this podcast. Not one of us brought up Dick Gregory. That's a damn shame.
Student of the game, man. I love it. I love the art.
Speedy, we fucking up.
I just got a Dick Gregory vinyl at Static not too long ago. It was like $4 for like a 1964 Dick Gregory vinyl. I was like, steal.
Hell yeah.
Y'all know about Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That guy. I just think that's one name that like has like slipped through all the comedians that's been through here, but like that
It'd be
guy.
crazy, man. I always like, with comedy, I be knowing names and then be like, no, like I know that. And I've heard the name, but I don't think I've seen the stand up. I'm gonna go check him out tonight. Y'all gave me some homework.
Hedberg's great. He's a one-liner guy. So
like
all
that.
his jokes are
That's what I'm
just set
bad
up,
at.
punch, set up, punch. Yeah.
That's what I think I'm bad at. Oh, let's do that. Before I do the top 5 of all time, let's get into a little subtopic. What's what do you feel is what you're bad at? Like, what is your area of you need to work? Mine, like for example, like mine's one-liners and crowd work. I feel like I'm terrible at those 2.
Crowd work 150%. Anytime I try crowd work, I like engage an audience member and then they say whatever back to me, and in my head I'm like, all right, I'm jumping into my shit. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even play with this. I don't know where to
got nothing
take
to do
it.
with
This
it.
was off the wall from where I thought you were gonna go, and I don't even know how to play with it in the moment. And usually I'm pretty quick-witted, but because I'm up there and I know I got time and I'm gonna get a light, I'm like, I gotta get back to the bit. I gotta get back to that so I can
Yeah.
get to my closing bit and hit y'all home right.
Yeah, I just kind of got my first lesson of crowd work, like my first successful. I feel like crowd work. And
Yeah.
I'm like I guess my little advice that I could give on it is, it's basically like all the things that you were saying, like the opposite of just let go. You just gotta, because I told Pete, I said on the last one, I'll say like again, I was up there and I was like, are there any parents out there? Like, got any parents in the audience? And the one guy was like, yeah. How, I was like, what do you got, boy and a girl? He's like, yeah. And I was like, how old are they? And I was like, anybody got kids? That's what I said. And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, how old are they? And he was like 26 and 31. I was like, it's not kids. and like I didn't even think that was that funny, but the whole audience, like that's how it is. Like it's not gonna be something you plan. You're not gonna be able to orchestrate it at all. It's just gonna happen or it's not.
Yeah.
Like some are gonna go good, some are gonna go bad. But I don't really even try crowd work. Most of my stuff is like a joke. But whenever you do it, like, and you watch the tape back, like you'll really like it if you just let it go. Like usually the audience member is probably gonna make the joke. Like they're gonna make it happen for you. Type. Not like they're gonna say the punch. I'm just saying they're gonna make it happen for you. So
I
just
realized I was making a horrific noise with this little thing right here. I was
no,
watching the
nah,
levels on the
you're
mic.
good,
I was
man.
like, oh man,
You're good.
That's gonna sound terrible. I'm sorry.
You work on one-liners,
audience.
Not really. I mean, I try to open my set with a one-liner so I know I can at least build a little bit of foundation with them. Like I have like 2 or 3 good ones that I try to open every set with. But besides that, I really like I said, I try to tell like a joke in like a 1-minute capacity, and then I can build that up to like maybe a 3-minute story or something. So my jokes always have like setting a premise and then hitting like a few punches along the way and then like a hard punch close for that joke. On to the next thing.
I like that. That's a good way to do it. So let's get into the top 5 just comedy, you know? You can do movie shows, anything. Stand up included, movies, whatever.
Top 5 all
comedy.
just comedians, comic
Yeah.
fellers.
Yeah.
Or Felicias.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
All right, so Will Ferrell,
My number one.
There it was.
Tim Robinson. If you guys have not seen, I think you should leave on Netflix. That
I did
is-
watch it. I did watch it.
That's so good. Adam Sandler. I've always been a big Sandler fan.
Definitely, for sure.
I mean, the late great Chris Farley.
Okay.
Farley's amazing.
Yeah.
And then rounding home with that one. Ooh, it's hard. The 5 spot's always hard because it's like, I dropped the ones off the top that I really, really, really liked.
Yeah.
I'm not showing any love to any females, man. Amy Poehler.
Wow.
Amy Poehler's got it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Amy Poehler's, she deserves the love, dude.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm just saying, man. You said Dick Gregory in the last one and then went with all white people. Oh.
Wanda
just-
Sykes. I take it
I
back.
guess
Amy
it's a
Poehler.
fair-
Wanda
Like,
Sykes.
look, that's what Petey said. Nah, he trying to tell. That's what Petey said. He trying to. You trying? Nah. Right? I'm just messing with you. No, that's a great 5 right there too. I like them. I like when people do unique and they don't try to do like a crowd pleasing top 5.
No, it's
Like
my.
I like, yeah, like that's
Yeah.
what I like. When, you know what I'm saying? That's great. That's a strong 5, man. I probably would. Yeah. No, dang, Petey said that one too. I
I
would
gotta
have
look
said
up
Teeny
Amy
Fake.
Poehler. Like I know who that is.
Parks and Rec.
Oh,
She was on
yeah.
SNL.
All right, yeah.
She started in Chicago at a UCB, if I'm not mistaken, Urban Citizen Brigade. That's like an improv troupe out of Chicago.
Hey, you know what's weird? I just like in my mind, I real quick I had got Amy Poehler and Amy Schumer confused. But you know what I was just thinking about? Like it's crazy how like like people talk about it a lot, but it's crazy how like segregated like the comedy thing is, right? Like
What do you mean?
like it seems like it's like there's black comedy and white comedy. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's, you know, like a lot of white comedians don't know about a lot of black comedians. A lot of white people don't know about a lot of black comedians. A lot of black people don't know about a lot of white comedians.
A lot of white comedians will like just completely bomb in a black room. Like they talk about that all the time. If you listen to like comedy podcasts and stuff, like a white guy walking into a black room and being able to crush.
No, that's definitely that. Like, I'll definitely get that to y'all, or not even to y'all. Yeah, to y'all. I'll definitely get that to y'all. Like, I feel like it could be messed up. No, it's not. A white comedian. I mean, a white comedian walking into a black room and killing. It definitely like says more than a black comedian walking into a white crowd and killing.
I think so.
The internal battle you had trying to say that. is just
Trying not to get canceled
I know.
before I get started. That's all
Nah.
it was.
It's just
Trying not to
cracking-
get canceled
Right.
before I get started.
I just
That was that little smidget of media training. Just that small smidge, you know? But nah, yeah, I feel like it's harder for white comedians. It just is. Like not white male comedians like to crush in a black room. Like it is. It just is. Like to tell y'all like this, like I work at a comedy club, right?
Yeah.
Before I even started doing stand up, people would walk in, like white people just expect a black person to be funny. Like I'll just say that. That's what it is. Like I work at a comedy club, right? And I'll be in there before I even started like doing my stand up. I'll have on the work uniform at the Comedy Zone, and like there'd be guests walking in. They'd be like, "Are you performing tonight?" I'm not even lying. I'm not talking about just once. Like
With my name
multiple
tag?
times. Got a name tag on. Like I have on a lanyard with a name tag and everything with the shirt with the logo on it. You're like, "You performing tonight?" They would really ask me that. Like,
Yeah.
so like if you walk into that black room and crush, man, you got something. That's why it's like Bill Burrs and who else?
Gary Owen.
Gary Owen.
Gary
Yeah, like
Owen.
Gary Owen, that was the first white comedian I ever knew because he almost strictly does black rooms, black audiences.
trying not to get canceled here too, but
It's a little bit harder for y'all. Way harder for y'all. You better tread lightly, motherfucker.
It reminds me of like, man, what's the guy who was on? Is it King of the Hill?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Not Hank. Mike Judge. Is that what you talking about?
Mike Judge. Mike
creator?
Judge is the writer at King of the
Oh.
Hill.
What are you saying?
King of Queens, that guy.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. He
Yeah.
was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about how like people in New York and Boston just like don't have, they just don't have the same kind of time for you as people like pretty much everywhere else in the country. It's like you go in there and it's like, hey, yeah, welcome, but like start dropping jokes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like that's kind of the same deal as like black rooms versus white rooms. It's like, hey, like yeah, you're great, but like start making me laugh or like
Yeah.
get out of here.
This was crazy. Like I just did one. I've only done one.
Yeah.
I just did my first one a few weeks ago. First black room in Asheville, and like I think like what people think like you with a black audience, you're not gonna like get over with like some like
softball type of jokes.
Hacky.
That what you mean?
Hack. Like
Hacky
they're not gonna
humor.
give you any of that. Like if you go to certain crowds, like older white crowd, they gonna laugh at some of them cheesy ones you throw out there. But like you throw them out, they want to know more like your like you got to do the you jokes, like you know what I mean? With a black audience, you got to do the you jokes, especially if you're gonna be putting anything down. Like if you're putting anything down, especially anybody black, if you're gonna do that, you gotta like also let them know well what's wrong with you. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be no walk in the park. For sure, I noticed that. Like, don't fake it. Just don't fake it. That's all I would say. Don't fake it when you go in a room, which you shouldn't be doing that with stand up anyway. But definitely don't try to fake it if you go into a black room. They gonna know.
Yeah.
I just realized in that moment on neither of those lists did I mention Richard Pryor. I gotta give some respect to Richard Pryor.
Oh no, my boy, they gonna get on your ass.
They
gonna get on your ass.
I apologize to the comedy gods.
It's too late. Your next set, you gonna bomb.
I can't say the name of any of his albums that I liked and listened to, man.
You can't.
That guy's crazy.
You can't. Yeah.
Bicentennial guy.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's all you can say. That's so fun. That's funny you say that. Oh man, I actually have that record too. I got that one.
I'm envious.
I got 3. What's your collection? I only got 3 right now. I've got the Bicentennial nigga. Since you can't say it, I'll say it for you. And I've got. I just went and got these other 2 in silver. The George Carlin, Classic Clown, and Lenny Bruce, Togetherness. And the Lenny Bruce one is dope, bro. The cover of that one, it's him.
You got a
next to
record
it.
player? I'm sorry.
Don't got a record
I
player.
was thinking that, bro.
Don't
when
got a
I saw
record
you
player.
buying these vinyls, I was like, that
He
nigga
don't-
doesn't have a record
He done been to the house. He's like, I never seen not one of them. Don't got a record player. I'll get one soon though. And look, my grandmother gonna watch this. She been trying to give me hers. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, you keep yours. You know, you actually gonna use it for real. You know, I'll get one eventually. Eventually. Whenever my comedy special comes out, I'm gonna put it on vinyl. Then I'm gonna get me a record player.
I'll listen to all those vinyls.
Yeah. But then I was the Lenny Bruce, the album cover is so dope. That's what made me pick it. Cause there was like 2 or 3 Lenny Bruce albums, but I had to pick this one just by the cover. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's stupid. I even got a joke about that one, but that's funny. But it's got Lenny Bruce, he's like hugging 2 women right in the front of the picture. It's and they're holding a sign that says Togetherness. And it's an Asian woman and a black woman. And then behind them, they've got like Ku Klux Klan members dressed up, but the Ku Klux Klan members are black. Like you can tell just from their, yeah. And then it's right underneath the Abraham Lincoln Memorial.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is beautiful.
It's iconic.
Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I gotta take this to the crib.
So you said you went to school in Florida?
Yeah, I'm from Florida. I'm born and raised on like Central Florida. East coast of Central Florida is where I'm from. Went to college in Tampa at USF. So
is that that's what you rep as far as like your college school, like you pull for them type of deal?
yeah, I mean, I pull for the college I went to, but aside from that, because we're like mediocre at football, the best we were ever at football was a year before I got into college. We made it to number 2 in the nation after we beat Auburn.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I'm just a big like sports fan, football fan specifically. So I'll pick like a team in every major conference, and that'll be the team I predominantly root for. But I just like good games, you know.
Nice. I don't want to interrupt. You know, I inherited my mother's bladder, so I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick.
All right.
I'm gonna leave my y'all hold it down, man. Y'all hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all you know, do what white guys do. Y'all talk about, you know, real estate, credit, or
Trying to get canceled, but
you know, talk about whatever white people talk about whenever black people ain't around. Credit, real estate, freedom, whatever it is.
Actually, this is the perfect time to pivot to my day job
Second
stuff.
Amendment.
So I sell retirement accounts.
Oh yes, let's hear about it.
And they're alternative retirement accounts. So people don't know that you can take like your IRA or like your 401k and not have it in like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. You can put it into alternative stuff like real estate or anything you really want to hold. So that's what I do for a day job. I've always been in like banking and finance. So just like financial literacy in itself, like where do you stand? You're a college graduate. Like, do you feel like you're relatively financially literate?
No. And
Okay.
All right. So here's like my number one question for you. So I worked a corporate job for like 2 years. got laid off, and I have a 401k. What am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? Like, what would you do with that?
So if you know what you want to invest that money with, I don't know how big it is after 2 years, probably not that much, but just move it, just do a rollover, which you're allowed to do, roll it over into an IRA.
Yeah.
At your age, probably switch it to Roth. So pay the taxes on it now so it grows until you need to touch that money and you don't have to pay taxes on it later in life.
Right.
And let someone else invest it for you.
Okay.
Like use a managed firm like a fiduciary or financial advisor to invest that money for you until you decide, hey, I've got enough in here and I want to go buy real estate or go buy this or that with it. Or just like let it keep building that way. That's what you should definitely do with it. At a younger age, I always tell people, because I'm in my early 30s, let Uncle Sam take their cut now, switch it over to Roth, which means you've paid taxes on it and it grows completely tax-free. So you're not going to touch that money until your 60s at best.
Yeah.
So let it grow until then. You never have to pay taxes on what it turns into. So if it's $2,000 now, you invest it for the next 40 years of your life, that $2,000 turns into like 80 grand, 90 grand, maybe 100 grand. You don't have to pay taxes on a dime of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get your number after this. We're gonna have to work this out. So my thing is like, I'm not like financially illiterate. I just like my whole philosophy on finances is like live poorer than you are type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
live within your means for sure.
Yeah. That is like my whole like statement on the whole thing is like, if I make this amount of money, I'm gonna pretend like I make this amount of money.
Yeah.
It just is like, that's how my savings account grew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a certain point where that obviously takes precedent, but also like when you get to a point where you can reap some of the rewards of what you've like earned for yourself and built for yourself, like don't not get the nice hotel when you go on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Like still like, hey, I earned this. I worked hard. I do work hard. I'm going to continue to work hard.
Yeah.
It's something I just learned really recently in my life because I've always had like a famine mentality in my own personality. Is like, man, the shoe's not going to drop. I'm not going to be broke tomorrow. I'm a hustler. I'm going to figure out a way if something goes wrong to get myself back on the right foot.
Dante knows I live with that famine mentality when it comes to spending money on stuff. Wait, what's this look about? Let's hear it.
I just want to say that's a damn shame, man. Whenever I was out here talking about dick jokes and comedians, as soon as I go to the bathroom, they get talking about financial literacy, solving world hunger. Y'all see this shit?
Hey, man, what you asked for it.
Man.
You said talk about what you want to talk about.
They don't talk about that stuff when we around. You see how they do?
Man,
how they do?
I put you up on game any day, man.
As soon as I get back, we talking about famine mentality and struggling and shit. I was sitting there in the bathroom like I'm gonna fuck them up with this one when I come out.
Yeah,
man.
You know what card you got up your sleeve, brother?
Oh man. God.
That is also like another philosophy I live with. Is like if I'm gonna go all out on something, it's gonna be like with my friends. Because especially now, like since I've graduated college and everything, like I live farther away from my friends than I ever have. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I'm gonna go spend time with my friends, I'm gonna have a good time. Like money,
sure.
like I do live with that famine mentality.
Until then,
99% of the time.
Until
so like
then,
that
man.
1% of the time, like
like fuck it.
spend some money.
If
That's
I
what I've
can
been
eat, we
learning,
all
too.
eating.
Yeah, spend your money on experiences. That's the best. Like like it's still materialistic stuff like drinks and stuff like that. But it's just like when you with the, you know what I mean. Spend your money on experiences. Definitely.
And if you go out, expect that it's gonna cost more than you thought. I'll say that right now. If you go out and thinking like I'm only gonna spend $20, it's not gonna take as far as you thought.
you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, you're gonna be very mad. Like that might be one drink for real. Some places.
$20, man. Can of beans and a radish.
Yeah.
Just be drinking whiskey cokes all night. You realize how much you spent. Oh, can I get a PBR, please?
Please.
I gotta keep this rolling, but no more money.
Bro, yes. And that's something like I'm still making up for it to this day is like going out when I was like in high school and like still in college and did not have enough money to be going out. Like the tips were terrible.
Yeah.
So like I'm still paying my dues on that. Anytime I can, like I'm giving better that tip.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, man, I burned so many people in my day.
What time is that show tonight?
That show started at 7.
Oh, it started at 7.
I mean, there was like 6 or 7 on the show. So whenever we get there, we get there.
Yeah.
We going to support.
Yeah, we're going to support the fellow Asheville comedians as they do us. Anything you want to drop, man? We going to be out before the 22nd.
Talk to the producer.
I know.
Editor, man. That's who got the real beef.
You know what I'm saying? Our editor ain't working. Damn, I'm about to fire his ass on the real. Nah, this will be out for the 22nd, man. You want to drop anything, promote anything?
All right, yeah. So if you want to find my comedy and see what tickles your fancy, it's Corey Day Comedy. Really active on Instagram. Not so much on the Facebook. That's more for my family to see it and my grandma to kind of see my jokes a little bit. I produce a show here in Asheville called It's Happening. Shout out to Ari Shafir. I took that from him on Comedy Central, his old show, It's Not Happening, or This Isn't Happening. It's a storytelling showcase. So I'm trying to give other comedians coming up around me a longer form set, like a 12 to 15 minute set to tell a story based on a topic that I tell them ahead of time.
Each month?
Each month's new show, new topic. This upcoming month, March 22nd, it's at One World downtown. That's number 10 Patton Avenue, right off of Pack Square. The topic is going to be vacations. Got a killer lineup. Dante will be on this show. The month afterwards is April. We're doing April 19th, Drugs and Sobriety, the Friday night before 420. And then May, that is going to be May 17th. That topic is going to be graduation and flashbacks. So we're getting some new people just graduating. We're getting some old people graduated 20, 30 years ago. We're just trying to bring graduation or high school and college flashbacks for May. And then from there, I'll pick another topic, stay following that. My production, whatever you want to call it, is Original Grain Comedy. I don't really have that active so much yet, but I'm getting started kind of pushing it through that channel, so it's not just all coming from me personally.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you by putting me on the show, by the way.
Yeah,
boy.
man.
Yes, sir.
That's Asheville, North Carolina, for anybody wondering where
North Kakalaki. Hot damn it.
Yeah, man.
I like it, man. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah,
Blessing
thanks for
the
being
show.
on the show, man.
Got you right there.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. A little bomb drop. I am moving soon, though. I'm gonna try to keep the show.
Sorry,
I'm gonna try to keep the show here in town, but
get the fuck out.
I am moving soon.
I mean, you don't have to share with the whole audience, but if you're comfortable with it, where are you moving to?
Nah, fuck them.
All right.
Nah, I'm just playing. Where you moving to, bro?
I'm moving to Charlotte next month.
Hey, so you ain't, man, you right down the road.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna keep the show rolling in Asheville. We just we got a crazy neighbor that's kind of trafficking drugs out of their house, and I got a 2-year-old I'm trying to keep safe and healthy. So it was a time where we needed to figure out somewhere else to live, man. And the police around here, no disrespect, but shit, man, they won't do anything about it. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
We can cut all that. We can cut that part.
Hey, listen, you keep your family safe. That's exactly what the hell you're supposed to do as a father. But as a host of this podcast, I just want to say we got no problems with the Asheville Police Department. Y'all are dead. All right. Qualified to motivate. We'll catch y'all next time.